Oh boy, PSA is backed up. They've got packages piling up, and they can't even process all of them as they are coming in. This feels like old times again, but what does it mean for the sports card hobby right now? I got the latest on this situation from PSA, and we're gonna share it with you next. Hello, sports card investors, and welcome to another episode of Cards on the Table. And Teapot Doug, it is feeling a little bit like 2020, 2021 all over again. Because PSA, they got a backlog. They got packages piling up. They got too many shipments. They can't process all of them. Now, it's not as bad as it was back then. Nowhere near as bad as it was back then. It's just hopefully a little blip right now, but it's a thing. PSA put out a statement at the beginning of this week. They went on social media to say that they got a high volume of incoming submissions to close out 2024 and to start 2025, and that has created a delay in their receiving process, their ability to process incoming packages and to check them in. So some people ship the packages, and right now they're not even getting checked in a PSA system for quite some time. PSA is saying that this is only affecting, bulk submissions, value submissions. It's not affecting higher levels. And they say everything's fine. All of the packages are locked up securely. They're staffing up so that they can, not have this be a problem in the future. They're also going to be introducing some new technology solutions this quarter to make the processing of packages more streamlined, so they hopefully don't have this problem. But it's got collectors worried because we dealt with big delays and backups at PSA, and nobody likes to ship their cards off for grading and then have them just sit there and sit there and sit there and sit there. You don't have the card's out there. It's not doing anything for you while it's sitting in a box at PSA's office. Now, I did reach out to Ryan Hogue, the president of PSA. I wanted to ask him a few clarifying questions about this. And he said that one question I asked him was, is this being caused by a surge in TCG and Pokemon, if some have speculated? And he said, no, it's across the board. He said the recent Pokemon releases definitely have contributed. They are getting a lot of Pokemon cards in, but they have also seen an increase in sports card submissions as well. So across the board, they're seeing an increase. He said they're only running a couple weeks behind. So this isn't, months behind like they used to be. He said they're only running a couple of weeks behind, and he hopes they're going to be back on track in a few weeks. So he doesn't think this is going to turn into this spiraling big problem where all of a sudden they've got a 6-month backlog like what happened back in 2020, 2021, right? He thinks it's just a few weeks. He also wanted to note that value plus and higher service levels are not being impacted. It's the bulk level and the specials that are the ones that right now are taking longer to process. That's the latest word as of right now, officially from the president of PSA. My question to you, gentlemen, does this worry you? Will you send your cards off right now for grading, or does this change your behavior? How should people out there act now knowing what is going on at PSA? Teapot, I'm going to start with you.
I'm not happy. I want my cards back. Loud noises. That's what I hear in the comments already.
That was a grue. That's
loud
grue.
Noises.
That's good. That's a good grue right there.
That was a little grue.
That was very grue. Very grue.
No, I mean, look, a few weeks. It is kind of funny because I've got a few videos like halfway done in the hopper for the Market Movers channel with some different stuff that I did. One video on how to evaluate cards and pulling stuff out of the dollar bin to see if we can grade it, and the first half of that video is done, so everybody else that will watch it gets to time travel until when we get the cards back, but it's not looking like we're gonna get them back when we planned to shoot the second half of the video. Now, a few weeks doesn't concern me. We see surges in seasonality all the time. It is interesting that in December, at a time when normally like buying dips, other people were like sending stuff in. I guess they're just sort of getting it done and getting it ready and out the door, but they'll get this turned around quickly. It's also interesting to me, though, that SGC was the one that saw the biggest growth last year as per the gem rate numbers we looked at a few weeks ago. But they just continue to be the ones that turn things around super, super fast. I think it probably has a lot to do with certain economies of scale. When you reach your max for your staff or for your facility, your warehouse, whatever the reason might be, it's difficult. It's also odd that right now, unemployment numbers are relatively low, like 4.2%, which historically is a very low number in the US, but there's still like a big shortage of, there's like a shortage of skilled labor and of getting people in. They've tried to hire more graders. Nat just did a long interview on Neo's channel talking about it and has talked with you about it. You got to get the right people in for that, and then you have to get the right people in who are trustworthy and motivated into your warehouse and doing these things, and finding good people to come in and help you upscale is not easy. It's not easy. We're always trying to hire new people here in the same way. So I don't know, overall, I'm not concerned about it. I would still keep sending cards in. Grading's still popular. They're scaling. They're opening new warehouses.
So you're not going to change your behavior at all. You're still going to go to PSA. They're still going to be your grader of choice. And you're not going to think twice about shipping it. You're just going to ship it, and if it takes a little longer, it takes a little longer.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a card right now that I absolutely wanted to have back quickly for one reason or another, I would send it to SGC because I'm going to get it back in a couple weeks, and then it would be very fast. But in general, a lot of the stuff that I'm sending, it's going to go to PSA. I'm shipping it off through our grading service here, letting them handle all of it, come back easy. It'll be back when it's back.
Now you can pay a little more, of course, with PSA, higher service level. They're saying those aren't backed up. Doug, do you buy this is just a few weeks and everything's going to be back to normal? Or is this like starting to crack the foundation a little bit? Could we have a bigger problem here?
I buy that this is only a few weeks and it'll get back to normal. I do buy that, but I don't buy that the current customers are only impacted if they're, bulk or value. I know for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, there's super express orders that have been out there for over 2 weeks that aren't getting touched right now. I know that. So I don't buy that it's only affecting the lowest service levels. It is impacting higher service levels, period. So that's the one thing I'd probably be cautious of right now. If I'm submitting it value or bulk, then I don't care if it's going to take an extra few weeks. I'm sort of expecting that when I go with those lower service levels anyway. But when I want to do something like Super Express, I don't expect that to get held up. So that would put a pause at me, especially if it was for an upcoming event. If there's a card show that's around the corner that I need these cards back for, I might not go PSA for this specific route. But if I'm holding off for the National, you still got plenty of time, then, that's still a situation where I would do it. It's a weird timing a little bit. Like you said, December is not necessarily the world's biggest buying month, but it's also Prism football releasing, and that is red hot.
That probably contributed.
And
a lot of people rushing football off, I imagine, trying to get it back before the Super Bowl.
Exactly right. And then there was that red hot, Pokemon release, the Japanese version of it, like Terrestrial. I can't remember what it's called. Not Prismatic Evolutions, but the Japanese version of it. So two really, really significant releases probably had a lot to do with this. I think I'd like to see gem rates numbers on this. Is this record volume? Is that the excuse for this? They're getting record volume in? And if so, does that speak to just how many cards are being printed right now? Is that what's going on? There's just so much Prism being printed or Pokemon being printed that there's that many more cards being graded, and that's part of what's causing this problem.
I wonder with the Super Express if it could be related to shipping delays.
Very well, yeah, there's totally
Postal
possible.
Service has been majorly delayed here because of the winter storms that came through. Amazon was a week out on Prime deliveries. They've got the wildfire stuff going. Like, there's a lot going on. Maybe that's part of it.
That's very possible. Yeah, I've had a lot of shipping issues in the past couple of weeks myself, so I could see that.
Yeah, these are all good questions. I don't know. I think PSA is going to get a little bit of a reprieve, and maybe this is part of the confidence about catching back up. If you look at the release schedule, January is a little dry in terms of releases of new sports card products from any of the sports, where people would rush off and grade a high quantity of it. There's some releases, there's some products coming out, but none of it is like the super premiere, they're gonna get tons of packages. February, you get Top Series 1 coming out, and then you'll get some other stuff after that, so it could pick back up, but what you do have, though, in January is you do have that new Pokemon release, which is coming out this Friday, which is supposed to be, I mean, this is the one that, like, literally, we're worried here at Cards HQ. We're doing one purchase per day per customer of this new release because it's going to be apparently so nuts. So PSA is going to get a lot of that. So I could see their TCG, backlog surging a little further on the back of this. For me, PSA is still the go-to in terms of grading, and I base that on the secondary market value. It's still by far the king of secondary market. The one thing I would consider is maybe a value plus submission, because they're saying, and who knows, but they're saying that it's really the bulk and the specials. I might consider paying the extra dollars to go one service level up to try to avoid some of this glut and get my cards back a little quicker, especially now that I know that glut is happening. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, though, as to whether PSA can really catch back up as quickly as they think they can.
I bet they can. It's not 2021 anymore.
Yeah.
They learned some lessons, and
Yeah.
they've been a very, in my eyes, trustworthy and forward-thinking company over the past few years. So I have a lot of faith in them to fix this in the time frame they say they're going to.
So now that Ryan comes out and says that's not slowed down, everybody starts paying the upcharge. The other day I hopped on
That's the kind of thing I'm worried about.
The
right
other
there.
day I hopped on the Peach Pass trying to take the
Yeah.
fast lane home, and it took me longer than getting on the normal highway.
Yeah.
It was like, and they charged me $8 or whatever. I'm like, whatever.
Scam.
This is what's going to happen.
All right. Well, we know there's a little backup to overcome there. One thing that is not backed up at all is these slab packs. They're available and ready for you if you get there right when they drop, because they do sell out. But tomorrow, Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, it's the next round, the next drop of slab packs from Arena Club, and they've got some great grails once again in their Ruby level slab packs. If you rip one of their Ruby basketball slab packs, you've got a chance at a beautiful LeBron James, Michael Jordan dual autograph BGS 9.5, absolutely incredible card. In football, they're giving away $25,000 worth of sealed product in one slab pack. So if you happen to rip that right slab pack, you can get $25,000 worth of sealed product in football. That's cool, right in time for the Super Bowl. And then in baseball, you've got a beautiful Shohei Ohtani gold refractor PSA 10 2018 Topps Chrome Auto. Just a ridiculously great card. All of these available as part of the slab packs. Tomorrow, what you need to do is download the Arena Club app to your phone and then use promo code SCI20, 20% off your first purchase at Arena Club. Hop on that tomorrow, Arena Club app, promo code SCI20. All right, guys, let's jump into the next story. Let's talk Kaboom. Kaboom, it's like everybody's favorite case hit, everybody's, favorite chase card, and Panini has decided to mix things up a little bit this year with Kabooms. Much like the Prism football design, where it's a little bit of a throwback to like 2013, they went kind of dialed back in time. They dialed back in time with Kaboom. So we've seen the new images of the new Kabooms that are coming out this year for basketball, and they've returned to the cartoony design. And when Kabooms first started in 2013, the first few years, 2013 through 2016, they were cartoon designs until they then moved to, actually using more photography type designs on the Kabooms. Apparently we're going back. They also have moved Kabooms to Revolution.
Yeah.
Interesting change there. Help me make sense of these changes. What do you think? Do you like the new style? Do you not like the style? I'll start with you, Teapot.
Yeah, well, I know why they did this. I know why they moved it. They moved it because Revolution has become less and less and less popular overall. If you look at the different box prices for hobby, from 2016 all the way up until last year, 2023, you can get a hobby box of Revolution basketball for between $85 to $150 a box. That's borderline unheard of now in Panini hobby basketball, if not completely unheard of. The product has just become less popular. They've always struggled to give it more, to give it enough juice in the product beyond just what is really the only main chase being Galactics. The Galactic parallels are very popular. It's a cool looking product. I've always enjoyed it. If you look at a Kaboom card, it actually makes sense in Revolution. Like thematically, it looks very similar. But now the pre-order on these boxes is $200 on Blowout. So you don't have that on any prior year's Revolution for the older boxes, and now they've got this, and it's specifically because of Kaboom. So they're juicing the price on this. Kind of frustrating for people who maybe had their last chance to get a hobby box for $100 of basketball cards. Here's the thing I'll say, I really hope Kabooms aren't also in Crown Royale. I hope they're not doing cartoon Kabooms in Revolution,
Exactly.
and I think they probably are.
You think they're going to do cartoon? You think they're going to do hyper-realistic ones in Crown Royale?
Yes,
oh,
they're going to keep both. And so we talked about this last week in the Market Movers video that you and I did with my least favorite things of last year. And two of my least favorite things were, one, the Kabooms being, or the downtowns being overprinted and put into every product, plus them also making the explosives and the zooms and the on the horizon knockoff Kabooms. Now they're just making new Kabooms. And then the big question with this that I think all of us are wondering is, will these ones be centered? So they didn't put the little border thing on them, but they could still print them and chop them wrong. So we'll see about that. Makes sense to me. Hope they're not putting it in Crown Royale. Keep it in one product and let's move on. But it's also confusing. What if Crown Royale comes out, it doesn't have it, and some people come in buying it thinking, woohoo, my annual Kaboom chase is here.
Revolution's going to go up, but the price of Crown Royale would drop a lot, I think, too.
It might.
Unless you're right, and they have Kabooms in both. What do you think of this, Doug?
I think he's right. I think there's going to be Kabooms in both.
Oh boy.
I don't like that it's in Revolution at all. That's the part about this that is the most upsetting to me. If the product's not selling well, just make it a better product on its own. Don't add one of the most coveted, iconic ultra-modern inserts in there to drive sales. Just make it a better product. Sell it that way. Or, crazy idea, leave it cheap so people have a cheap hobby box to buy. I know that's a crazy idea, and I'm sorry for just putting that out there, but we don't have to put these top-end chases in every single product that's out there, right? I don't care a ton about which design choice they make as far as cartoon or, photorealistic. I like the original cartoon Kabooms better, but there's just so many cartoon cards now. You've got manga, you've got prismatic, you've got explosive, you've got zoom, you got downtown. There's more than that all have some sort of cartoon element. So I kind of would rather it be photorealistic just to avoid having so many cartoon cards. But if you do that, please pick a very good photo. It's such a good insert. Take the time to pick a really good photo, like 2017 Mbappe is a great one, for instance. Take the time and don't put a lazy photo.
Like sliding.
Exactly. Don't take a lazy photo and put it on Kaboom, because I've seen some of that and it just totally waters it down for me as well.
Good points all around. What do you guys think out there about Kaboom? And is the theory right that it could be in Crown Royale? Is that going to water things down in addition to Revolution? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to mention to you guys, this weekend is the Dallas Card Show. Our team from Cards HQ will be there buying. So if you happen to be at the Dallas Card Show, come sell us your cards. But if you're not at the Dallas Card Show, as we get those cards back to our store next week, they're going to be all popping up in our inventory on cardshq.com, where we have thousands of slabs for sale. So keep an eye on cardshq.com next week. We're going to have a lot of great new cards loaded in there for you to take a look at. This next story is really kind of painful. So this is a jersey swap that, okay, let me tell you what happened here. So a couple of weeks ago, there was a family that went to a Spurs game. They sat down courtside, or at least they were at courtside at the end of the game. There was a cute little kid, and the cute little kid, and I'm talking a real little kid, he had a sign that said, Victor Wembanyama, will you swap jerseys with me? And he had a little mini Spurs jersey. Well, guess what happens? Victor Wembanyama comes over at the end of the game, gives him his game-used jersey, takes the kid's little jersey. They get a little photo together. Wemby's got the small jersey. The kid's got the giant jersey. The Spurs post this to social media and call it the best jersey swap of all time. Lovely story. Less than a month later, that Wemby jersey that the little kid got, it is going up for auction at Golden Auction. Less than a month later. Internet opinion is actually a little bit split on this. Some people are saying this is terrible. Other people are saying, hey, if the family needs the money, then, this is a great way for them to get money. I guess it is that. Doug, what is your take on this situation?
I doubt it's because they needed the money, or why are they sitting courtside, or at least lower level, right? I mean, sell your tickets. Don't even go to the game if you needed the money like that. I've got a lot of questions that I would want answered before I cast full judgment on everyone involved in this. But ultimately, it's their own decision. I mean, they've got the jersey. They can do whatever they want with it. And if Golden proactively sought out this jersey and they saw this viral video that had 4 million views and thought, our marketing is already done, let's go get that jersey. They're a business. They're allowed to go do that. So whether or not you like it, it's their own decision to make that happen. Now, if they set out the entire time to make this happen, if the parents were at home, let's make this sign, let's get this jersey swap, let's sell it. If this is all premeditated, then I feel really terrible about it. It's gross. But Victor Wembanyama responded to this with a little crying face emoji, so he didn't love it. Victor saw this and didn't love it, which makes me think in the future, the next time there is a kid who wants to do a jersey swap, is he going to be more hesitant to do it? Is he going to be more hesitant to sign that autograph or take that picture? That's what...
Sign a contract.
Yeah, that's what I hate about this, is that puts a bad taste in the athlete's mouth, and now he's maybe going to be more hesitant to participate in these type of things, because is it just a cash grab for somebody else?
Yeah. What's your thoughts, Teapot?
I think Wemby probably should expect it. Everybody should expect it. He's a hot ticket item right now. You know, people pull his autograph, they sell him, a lot of those people, because they want the money. I did have the same note about, like, if you're sitting courtside, it's probably not because you need the money. I don't know. How much is this up to right now? Do we know on auction so far, or is it a 30-day? Like,
the auction starts next week, so it's not.
So it'll be interesting to see,
bidding hasn't started
what
yet.
it will go for. Mom, dad, both of them. Somebody said, take that money, put it into Junior's college fund or toward a vehicle when he gets older, and he'll love that a lot more than the game-used jersey. I don't know. Money drives the world. It motivates people to do crazy things. It doesn't look great. I mean, you like the heartwarming story that turns into whatever. I think Wemby should just buy it back. Just buy the jersey back, and then, I don't know, maybe to give it to somebody else who would like it more, but... Yeah.
You guys are being way too lenient on this.
Really?
Well, I think this is freaking disgusting. Okay. Like, I think this is disgusting. Right. I think this parent that was involved in this should be outed, and I think they should be social media shamed. Social media got this Phillies fan fired for yelling at the Green Bay lady in the stands. Get this dude fired for pimping his little kid out there to get a jersey from Victor Wembanyama so he can immediately send it off to Golden Auction and cash in on a little moment that his kid had with his kid's, favorite superstar.
Hey, maybe Ken gave him an offer he couldn't.
Disgusting. Find out who this guy is. Fire this dude. Get him out of here. This is gross. I hope that Golden did not reach out to him to solicit the jersey, because I think that's disgusting too if they did that. And I'm not saying they did that. I'm hoping they didn't. Hopefully the only evil lies in this dude, this dad or mom or whoever it was, who saw their kid have this moment with Victor Wembanyama, which, yes, quite likely could have been all premeditated as a ploy to get a jersey to cash in. But even if it wasn't, and even if it was just a sincere, happen to come together moment, for the parents to look at that moment and say, oh, that was wonderful, and literally, a couple of days later, say, hey kid, give me that jersey. I'm gonna go cash in. No, you don't get to do that. Victor Wembanyama gave you this. It was a gift. I have no problem if somebody opens up a pack and pulls a big card and immediately sends it to Golden. It wasn't a gift. That's fine. That's your card. That's your property. Do whatever the heck you want. You don't sell it. This was a gift. You can't take a gift from an athlete in that scenario for a kid and then turn around and just monetize it within a matter of days. It's not good. It's not good. Wemby replies with a crying emoji because it's not good. And yes, next time this situation comes up, Wemby is going to think twice about doing it. And that sucks. Yeah. That sucks. And this parent is ruining it for all the other kids out there. Ruining all the other little juniors that could have that experience at a future Spurs game. They're not getting the experience now because of that dude.
Don't
out him.
Jeff,
out him. Don't fire him. That's my take.
I sold his auto to Big League Influencer card. I'm just kidding.
Jeff is pro cancel culture. It's amazing.
Cancel.
Jeff, have you ever
cancel this guy?
Have you ever had anybody incorrectly make assumptions about you on the internet and try to bring you down?
Plenty of times.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe just to get all the information.
I think there's a term, it's called doxing.
Maybe we'll get all the information before
I got all the information I need on this one. I'm not happy about this scenario. Okay, let's go to our last story of the day.
I'm not happy about this scenario.
Teapot's not going to be happy about this
I'm glad because I have no opinion.
The new design for Top Series 1 was unveiled. Design, it's okay. It's okay. I don't think it's as good as 2024's design. It's fine. It's decent. It works. You know, we could talk about the design, but the checklist also has come out as well. And of course, they have the golds that they normally do out of 2025. What is a little different this year is that all of the other solid colors they're giving a foil treatment to, but then they're also changing the numbering on some of them. They typically have a black paper parallel.
Yes.
That's gone away. That's been replaced with a black foil number to 10. So different numbering scheme there. Father's Day blue has gone away. Mother's Day pink has gone away. So some changing of the checklist that doesn't have everybody particularly happy. We're going to talk about that. There are some other unique things that have happened with the product. Social media follow backs have shifted from Big League Baseball into Topps Series 1. Gives people an extra something to chase. You've got Ricky Henderson autos in Topps Series 1, which now, rest in peace, Ricky Henderson. Those are going to be a big chase. Barry Bonds autos are back. You got other fun stuff going on here as well. Teapot, what is your take on Topps Series 1 Baseball 2025?
I give the design a B. Okay. I think it's pretty good. Not as good as last year, but I like it. Some people think it's terrible. I thought it was pretty good. My reaction to the elimination of the black paper parallel was frustrated, angry, dismayed, a lot of negative emotion internally, okay? The black paper parallel, it's my favorite parallel out of Topps paper. It's my favorite parallel. And it's a lot of people who take that product seriously. It's a lot of people's favorite parallel from that. It started in 2003, serial number to 52. It's gone up one per year sequentially every year since then. So you have lineage. Lineage is a really good thing in sports cards. You can count on it year over year. It's not always a hodgepodge. You're not moving Revolution things to one over here, whatever, doing willy-nilly. People know what to expect and what to predict. Thankfully, they didn't get rid of the gold parallels, which are always serial numbered to the year. They kept those. Interesting, they kept Independence Day numbered to 76. They kept Memorial Day camo numbered to 25. I don't hate the addition of the foil parallels. I really don't hate the idea of creating better product synchronicity between Topps Chrome and Topps Paper, which is what they said they did this. They started talking about that 4 years ago or so when they first got these licenses and bought Topps. Fanatics was talking about wanting to incrementally create more product continuity. So I like that. Interesting thing, are we going to see an Independence Day refractor? Are we going to see a Memorial Day camo refractor? I don't know. While my personal reaction to this was not happy. I like the black parallel. I like picking those up of different athletes. I own many of them. I also don't believe many people will care. Anybody new coming into the hobby won't know any differently. And honestly, they'll probably have a better time. If you hit a black foil, you're going to be really excited because it's to 10 now, and that's pretty cool. There's still some product, and then you kind of know what to expect between Topps and Topps Chrome. You can get the paper and the Chrome now and chase both of those things. Die-hard collectors who collect rookie cards and like to chase the graded and even like the chase of a PSA 10 completely black bordered card, which is very difficult to get, they're really upset about it. Social media was a stir. The baseball card Instagram community and the guys that I do the Spitball and Cards podcast with were really unhappy about this. They all disagreed with me when I said what I just said, that most people, 99%, won't care. And then the comments on our video almost all agreed with me and said, yeah, I didn't even ever care about these cards, or I've never even heard of the black parallel. So I think it's interesting. Most people in the hobby won't know any differently. It's not going to negatively impact whether or not people buy Topps flagship. I'm still going to buy a box of Topps, Series 1 hobby. I always do. So the one thing I would just say is I wish they would consult with more of the community when these decisions were made. And I'd love, I don't know, next time you talk to Mike Mahan or somebody, to ask them just like, how are these decisions made?
Run them by me first.
The suggestion, run them by me first, please. I will tell you what to do. My suspicion is you have people who have worked for Topps for a long time, who are in the room for strategy and design and product strategy meetings. And then you have people who are new and maybe from other bigger companies, and they're trying to help them financially 10x Topps and baseball cards. And they have a little bit of this, and somebody gets trumped and just told, yeah, we're just going to get rid of that. It doesn't make sense to us, so forget your dumb paper parallel, moving on. I think that's probably how it goes. But people are pretty worked up about this. How many people? I don't know. The ones who love it are worked up.
Doug, are you worked up? Are you one of the ones who are worked up?
Not in the slightest.
Get angry, Doug.
Unsurprisingly, I'm not a baseball guy. I've never purchased Top Series 1 in my entire life in any format. I did not know any of the parallels and their numbers. So I looked at this as a good thing. You're getting the foil treatment. You're upgrading. That's fantastic news. Hearing that black used to be sequentially numbered year by year, it was up to what, 73 or something, right?
Yeah, it was going to be 75.
I didn't know that was the case. I thought it just went from a black paper out of 73 to a black foil out of 10. I was like, that's a great thing. But I can see now the appeal of every year it kind of gains that number. That's a kind of a cool thing, and I hate seeing tradition, pushed to the wayside. So that's kind of a bummer. But outside of that, I like the foil treatment. I just do. I'm not a paper card collector.
It looked really nice.
But this would make me more interested in paper, having that foil treatment.
Yeah.
I like some of the other stuff. You mentioned the Ricky Henderson autos. Barry Bonds autos are back in this. My favorite thing that I saw on the checklist, we've got a Mike Trout, Tim Salmon dual auto.
Oh, there you go.
That's pretty funny to me.
Yep.
So,
Fisherman dual auto right there.
We'll go for that. But no, I'm not. Obviously, I'm not very passionate about this one way or the other. I will leave this to the purists and stay in my lane.
All right. And if you want to go listen to, an hour of further discussion about black parallels, go listen to the Spitball on Cards podcast.
You could go listen to it.
You can go listen to it right now. They're going to break it down in all the detail you could ever want.
Passionate baseball collectors.
That is passionate baseball collectors indeed. All right, guys, what do you think about the various topics we talked about today? Let us know in the YouTube comments. And don't forget the new drop of Slab Packs on Arena Club tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Promo code SCI20 for 20% off your first purchase. Download the Arena Club app today. We appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time. Take care.